Hey everyone, welcome back to Coded Row. In today's video, we're diving into the world of Unreal Engine and exploring how to work with properties using UProperty macros in C++. Let's get started. So UProperty macros are essential in Unreal Engine as they allow you to expose your class properties to the editor. They also allow you to expose it to the blueprint system and even provide runtime serialization. These macros enable various functionalities like replication, editability, and garbage collection. Let's take a look at how we can use them. So first, let's set up our project. So I've opened up my Unreal Engine 5 C++ project called Intro to C++. And now I'm going to go over to my C++ class, right click and create a new C++ class. And I'm going to choose actor as a parent. So now I'll hit next and I'll call this something like my actor 3 because we've created quite a few actors in our previous tutorials. So now when I hit create class, it's going to open it up. And now let's add some properties to our class using UProperty. So now I'm going to go to my myactor3.h, which is our header file. Now I'll go ahead and add some code to my myactor3.h. So at the very bottom under this public, I'm going to add a few UProperty tags. So the first one I'll do is a UProperty edit anywhere, blueprint read write, and category is equal to my properties. And then I'm going to add a int 32 called my visible property and add a semicolon. And now this is going to be an example of a visible property. And I'll hit space under this or enter twice. And now I'm going to do an example of a hidden property. And for this, I'll add a UProperty, visible anywhere, blueprint read only, and the category will be the same thing. It's equal to my properties. And I'll add a float called my hidden property. And I'll create an example of a replicated property. So this will call a UProperty replicated. Edit anywhere, blueprint read write, and a category, which is equal to my properties. And under this, I'll make a bool called b is replicated. And now for the final example, I'm going to add an example of a property with metadata. So for this one, I'll add a UProperty, edit anywhere, blueprint read write, category is equal to my properties. And now I'm going to add some meta. So I'll add a comma after this and add a meta is equal to, and in parentheses, I'm going to do clamp min is equal to, and in quotes, 0.0, and then comma after the quote, and do a clamp max is equal to, and then in quotes, 100.0. And I'll add a parentheses after the quote. Make sure there's two closing parentheses. So one to close the UProperty tag, and another to close the meta. And now under this, I'll add a float called my clamped property. And now I'll hit save. So here we've defined 4 properties with different UProperty specifiers. Edit anywhere in blueprint read write. This makes the property editable in the editor and readable/writable in blueprints. Visible anywhere makes the property visible in the editor, but read only in blueprints because of the blueprint read only. Replicated makes the property replicated across the network, and the meta is equal to clamp min 0, clamp max 100. This adds metadata to the clamp This adds metadata to clamp the value within a specified range. So now let's implement the class into myActor3.cpp, and let's add the following code. So under this tick, which is primary actor tick dot b can ever tick is equal to true, we're going to initialize the properties. So I'll add a comment saying initialize properties. And now I'm going to go back to my actor.h and see what my, oh, this is wrong. I need the v invisible to be capital. And then, yeah, this is good. So I'm going to add these 4 variables that we created and just initialize them in my CPP file. So now I'll do my visible property is equal to 42 and add a semicolon. And then my hidden property is equal to, let's do pi, which is a float variable. And then b is replicated, which is our bool, is equal to true. And then my clamped property is equal to 50.0f, which is supposed to be between 0 and 100. And I'm going to enable replication. And by doing this, I'm just going to do b replicates is equal to true. So in the constructor, we initialize our properties with some default values, and we also enable replication for the actor by setting b replicates is equal to true. So now let's compile the code, and in order to do this, I'm going to actually close down So I'm just going to close down I've closed down my project and make sure that Visual Studios is still open. And now in my project layer, I'm just going to right click, show more options. I'm just going to right click on my Unreal project, show more options, and generate Visual Studio project files. And I'll just double click to relaunch this. And now what I'm going to do, and now if we were to drag our My Actor 3 into the outliner or into the world and check over our details tab, you'll see the properties that I created are all right here. So we see my visible property, which is set to 42 by default. And if I change this to something like 50 and hit enter, you'll see this arrow sign on the right pop up to reset this to the default value. And if I click on it, it'll change back to 42. And then my hidden property that we made visible, it's not editable and is replicated has a check next to it. And the my clamped property can go anywhere between 0 to 100, just like we define in the code. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching Coded Row. You learned how to work with properties and UProperty macros in Unreal Engine 5 and C++. These macros are powerful tools that allow you to expose and manage your class properties efficiently. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Coded Row for more tutorials. Don't forget to check out the description below for my Discord and Patreon. Thanks for watching.